Now, identifying what's wrong with these minutes. So these are just examples of screenshots I've found along the way of like meeting minutes that I've found. So as you can see in this one, like the first one, it's basically literally it's a real meeting minutes of an AGM. Something as important as this, you can't write it like that. Best practice would be to follow our templates, which I've shown you as photos from previous slides. But basically, you can't write 2024 11 12. Like, do we know if that's the 12th of November or whether that's the 11th of December? Like, depends on what stuff it is. But like, you can't write it like that. And look, first names as well. You need to have full names, not just first names. And you need to write down your observers if there were any absentees and apologies. Um, you've also got like parties and websites. Like those are things that you need to minute properly. Ideally, they should be in an appendix. So, like parties and website, the way they were written sounds like a report. Which, if you're gonna, it's better to write in as an attachment of an appendix, and then with that stuff, you just need to write it in the like. Let's say if this was a subcommittee report, you need to do it in dot points, and you need to make it really concise. The rest of the report, if everyone else is interested in reading it, you could like the original document. It's better to attach it as an appendix, and you need to specifically minute in your meeting minutes to say that it's an appendix. Otherwise, you run the risk of like having something really long and big. And also because of the first person wording in there as well. So you've also got like this, for example, like this is from like uh, a like a fake society thing. I kind of had to change some of the wording just to hide for clarity purposes. So name change. Like look at this. You may have noticed our name is TU. Pink Flamingo Society is now a bit misrepresented what we actually do, and therefore I would like to move the change. Like you need to write it as instead of like this, you need to say the state the society has the, like I guess the chair has motioned to move to change the name of the society to this, and then you need to write is the motion carried, who abstained, who voted against. You can write your reasoning on a dot point, or you could write it. You could attach it as an appendix. That way, you're making everything concise but still delivering the reasoning, so that way someone who reads it externally could understand why this was motion, what's the reasoning behind the motion. Otherwise, they did it correctly in a way of saying yays, nays, or abstaining because they actually reported numbers. So that's what it is. Like, and you try to make it formal and concise. With this one, the voting system, um, look, you need to have like full names. And also, you can see here, president, secretary, treasurer, vice president, event coordinator, and general member. Like they've only invited, at least from I can tell here, they've only voting system. They've only invited the committee. They didn't invite anyone else who's just a member, like just someone who rocks up and joins events. Like it needs to be everyone. You don't have to exactly put your reasoning here in your meeting minutes. You just need to have include in an appendix to make it concise. It can't be the last part of the document either. You need to have other business, and you need to have when did the meeting minutes finish, like when did the meeting finish, and like when the next meeting is. So like this document is all part of the same AGM. So on the top, you're missing location, you're missing time, you're missing the date, you're missing the name of the club, and the logo as well if you've got one. So that needs to be clearly included in there. Now with an AGM, like you've got the meeting minutes here. So this is another example of what we received. We just had to change the name just to hide like to um, for for privacy reasons. But yeah, this is pretty much like what we saw. So they didn't change. You need to change include the name of the society there, but and then change the red text or delete them if it's not uh, relevant, because these are instructions. Like capture the main points of the verbal points, like verbal report. Like that's instructions that we have there. You're supposed to delete that, and then also delete the appendix if you're not gonna attach anything. So that's pretty much it with the documents for an AGM. It's exactly the same with a special general meeting or a general meeting. That way, you need it to be really concise and you need to be really clear about what's included. But anything that's not necessary or anything that isn't necessarily required to be included in the main body of your meeting minutes, you include it in your appendix. And then make sure you actually mean it to say that the appendix is there. So you can find more of our information resources in our on our website on the community CNS resources and info library, CNS meeting and agenda template or minute keeping template. So you'll find that our templates there. Otherwise, Robert's Rules of Order, which is a thick book about how to run proper meeting minutes, like uh, general meetings or special general meetings, annual general meetings, that sort of thing, and what transpires in a meeting, what is and isn't allowed. They also have a website now, so you could look up specific things like how do you, could you run a circular motion? Could you run this, and all that sort of stuff? And um, they'll browse through and then they could tell you whether it's allowed under Robert's Rules of Order or not. Otherwise, if you've got any other questions, you can email us at clubs@tusa.utas.edu.au. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for coming or for watching this. If you're watching this recording in the future, we'll see you at the Student Leaders Conference on the 18th and 19th of November. It's going to be a full 2-day workshop. So plus a lot of fun other things, including like the Clubs and Societies Awards night on the second day of the event as well, so 19th of November. But please do, with this one, we'll do more deep dives into other things, but also stuff that you need to know as a society. But we also talk about things outside of what we deliver in these Execulearn workshops, because these are meant to just be complementary, but everything else is like, the stuff that we want you to know. So please mark that in your calendars. And yeah, we'll see you at the event. So I'll stop recording here.